به نام خدا سلام عرض میکنم بینندگان عزیز امیدوارم حالتون خوب
In
باشه.
the name of God. Hello, dear viewers. I hope you're doing well. I'm sharing another video here about relationship topics, and my intention with these videos isn't to encourage cutting people out of your life. Actually, it's about building healthy relationships. We need to have some filters in our lives. Choose good people, those who have positive qualities as friends, as people we interact with and spend time with, so we get hurt less. So please, I ask you, look at this video with this perspective. Dear friends, in our communications, we have two types of people who are different from each other. They're part of our social circle, they become our colleagues, we hang out with them. They could even be our relatives. How we manage our relationships with them works best when we understand each person's traits. Some people are just uninformed, but they're not bad people. They lack info, don't have much awareness, and don't really know how to communicate well. They're not good at expressing themselves, but if you guide them, they're good people. Then there are others who they invade your personal space and become dangerous people. So in this list I'm about to share with you, we want to identify two types of people, recognize their traits, and see how to deal with them. The first group is what we call ignorant people. They have little knowledge and awareness. They're not dangerous. Look, if we want to define an ignorant person, it's basically someone who lacks maturity, has low understanding, or because of their upbringing doesn't have the necessary social awareness, but they don't mean to hurt or bother you. For example, you share a secret with someone and later you find out they told someone else. They did it because they didn't understand what privacy means. They didn't know. They didn't know they're supposed to protect the secrets others trust them with. When you warn them, it gets better. They don't do it again. We call these people ignorant. But then there are others who are dangerous. People who know what they're doing is hurting you, but do it anyway, on purpose. Like when you tell them a secret and even say, don't tell anyone, but they go and spill it anyway. I I once made a video about how basically people shouldn't share their secrets with just anyone, but sometimes, like if you weren't paying attention or you were upset and said something, and then that person went ahead and spread it around, that person ends up being dangerous to keep around. If you want to keep dealing with someone like that, be ready to face even more problems in your life. The signs I'm about to mention can really help you spot these people. One of the signs is how they talk. See, people who are ignorant or not very aware, but don't have bad intentions, tend to talk a lot without thinking much. He's not much of a deep thinker. He just says whatever comes to his mind no matter what. He says inappropriate stuff, but when you call him out, he gets all embarrassed. Don't expect his words to really hurt anyone or have a lasting negative effect, because then he apologizes. He actually knows how to apologize for his mistakes. Imagine, for example, a woman who's upset and angry and tells her friend, "My husband is totally useless." Then when someone points it out to her, she says, "I wasn't paying attention. I didn't mean to badmouth him. I was just joking." And then she never says that stuff again. It's totally clear that they're not a biased person, but they're definitely dangerous in how they talk. You can see exactly what kind of character they have. They throw shade in their words, speak some hard truths, insult, compare, make snide remarks, throw subtle digs, and then never take responsibility for what they say, like if you call them out, they just brush it off like nothing. They try to justify themselves somehow. For example, in the case I mentioned, a woman says her husband is a bad person. Then this person goes somewhere and repeats that, and when someone tells them, "Why did you say that? Why are you talking about so-and-so's husband like that?" they just shrug it off. The woman who messed up talked badly about her husband behind his back, which is a big no-no and should never be done. When she's called out, she apologizes and says sorry. But if someone's dangerous, they won't do that. They'll make excuses like, "Oh, come on, look at how he acts. It's just how things are." See, they justify their mistake and refuse to take responsibility. These people end up being troublemakers who flat out won't admit they're wrong. You can tell by how they act. They're clueless and cross boundaries they shouldn't, even though they don't want to. He doesn't mean to be nosy or anything bad, but he did it anyway. But when you come and teach him, give him some awareness, he fixes it. It's more of an emotional reaction, not something planned out ahead of time with the intention to hurt someone. So it's really important to know your boundaries. Dangerous people fall into a group you need to be super careful with in your relationships. If you can, cut them off. If not, keep things very controlled with them. There are also people who purposely cross boundaries. They purposely pry into things, then they keep crossing boundaries in the relationship, and when you get angry, upset, or confront them, they actually get happy because they feed off your angry reactions. It's really important to understand these things clearly. I don't want to make this video too long, just want to say it briefly because it's an important topic. There have been a lot of questions about it, and I hope this video helps you. So to summarize, people who are basically clueless don't have awareness of their intentions. Dangerous people tend to be very controlling and destructive even in their intention. Foolish people just talk without a clear goal. They don't have a specific aim, but dangerous people want to hurt you. Foolish people react to warnings by correcting themselves, but dangerous people make excuses. Foolish people don't repeat the mistake. Dangerous people actually do it even more. So the pattern is pretty clear. How should we behave? Look, it's a really important skill. If there's a foolish person in my life that I have to live with, like a coworker or a family member who doesn't have that awareness, I still have to deal with them. They mostly need When people need to be trained, talk to them in a very friendly and respectful way and do it privately, not in front of others. Raise awareness about the mistakes they're making. You'll see that the result is they actually correct themselves. When you give a polite reminder or set a boundary by saying, "I don't want to get involved in these issues," they usually stop, and that's the end of it. These are the kinds of people you can manage using this approach. But if you notice someone who just doesn't get it, they end up joining the risky group, the ones you really need to watch out for and keep away from you. Our behavior with these people needs to follow some rules. First, never give them too many details about your life. Never open up or vent to these kinds of people. Never. I keep saying this. Don't share your secrets with anyone, whether they're ignorant, dangerous, or even a close friend who doesn't have any bad traits. It doesn't matter. But when someone's dangerous, that's a very clear red line. Don't ever give them tools, information, or details they could use against you later. So never reveal yourself to a dangerous person. Manage your relationships carefully. Keep it really limited. Keep a safe distance, and if you do have to interact with someone, keep it super formal and as brief as absolutely necessary. No more than that. Here's a little test I suggest to figure out which group a person falls into. Are they clueless or are they dangerous? You can tell pretty quickly with this method. Set a clear boundary on a certain topic or issue. For example, say, "I don't want you to ever talk to me about this subject," or mention something that's not a big deal and tell them, "I don't want anyone to..." Just trust yourself. If you see that person respects the boundaries you set and the way you want things, then they're one of those rare people who won't repeat the same mistakes. But if you notice they make fun of you, play the victim, or make you feel guilty, then they might be one of those dangerous types. So this can easily help us figure out how much we can trust someone, whether we should get close to them or not, and if we want to bring them into our lives and strengthen that bond. And good for you if you find those people. If someone can manage their communication, and especially their family relationships in a way that makes them one of the good people, then in my upcoming videos, I'll share some traits and techniques with you. With these techniques and traits, you'll be able to recognize good people, connect with them more, and have those kinds of people in your circle. Then you'll notice your life becomes much calmer, you'll have fewer problems, your worries will ease, and you'll feel better. Overall, you'll be happy because you surround yourself with good people. Basically, humans need social connections. We can't just push everyone away. One question that comes up a lot in these kinds of videos is, what if that ignorant or dangerous person is someone really close to you? The answer is pretty clear. If the relationship is harmful and they're intentionally hurting you, you should cut them off, or at least manage the situation as much as possible. Like if it's a family member, for example. From now on, if you used to hang out once a week, make it once a month, or once every 2 or 3 months. Whenever you used to have lunch or dinner together, now just spend 10 minutes checking in with each other. Because maybe you're one of those people who are basically stuck together, you know? And that connection is important. We still need to keep up with how each other is doing, but that doesn't mean we have to go on trips together and then come back with a bunch of problems and damage only to try and keep the relationship going, or if we end up arguing on the trip. That's not a healthy relationship. No, it's not. You don't have to travel with this person. You can keep in touch, check in on them, ask how they're doing because of your social responsibility or a religious duty to maintain family ties. Just give them a call and see how they're doing. That's enough. And if they try to start another conversation, don't get involved. Sometimes just a quick chat or sending a message is enough to keep things going. But if they're one of those stubborn people, like I said, talk to them privately and respectfully so you don't hurt their feelings. Sometimes, it's like talking to a wall. Listen, Casually drop some hints, like saying you had a friend who, whenever we talked, kept trying to find out how much I earn. I never like anyone asking me about my income. Don't say it like you're confronting me about it or like you're upset. Even if someone's a good person but didn't know they shouldn't ask something like, I had a friend like that, the other person will get the message and won't repeat it. So it's all about your vibe, your taste, and how smartly you handle the situation. If you found this helpful, definitely join the conversation in the comments. What do you think? Have you ever had experiences like these relationships? And if you've tried any of the techniques I mentioned and they worked, please share your results below the video. Thanks so much for liking and helping others see these tips. It really helps improve the mood of people, families, and the whole community. I truly appreciate it. Wherever you are, I wish you all the best. Yours truly, Amir Mehrdad Khosravi.